Now that we've gone over our equations for basic lines, let's go over equations for parallel or perpendicular lines. Parallel and perpendicular lines are special types of lines that have certain relationships. Parallel lines is when you have two lines that have the exact same slope, or in other words, you have two lines that when next to each other will never ever cross. Then you have what we call a perpendicular line. A perpendicular line means that you have one line that crosses another line at a 90-degree angle. But how do you find this without using geometry? Well, we have that below. With a perpendicular line, you can see that given you already have a first slope, your second slope is going to be what we consider the negative reciprocal of the first slope. Or in other words, you're going to take your first slope and you're going to flip it and switch the sign. Now, if you want to check to make sure that you actually have the correct slope, if you multiply your first slope by your second slope, you will get -1. So whenever you're trying to find an equation for a parallel or perpendicular line, you want to follow the steps listed here. If given an equation, go ahead and solve for y and put your line in a slope-intercept form. We do this because it's very easy to identify your slope, because that's what your second step is, to identify the slope. Third, write out your new slope. If it's parallel, your slope is the same. If it's perpendicular, you're going to flip your number and switch the sign. Okay. Now that you have your new slope, you are going to plug it in to either a slope-intercept equation or a point-slope form, depending on what you're trying to find. The fifth step is to go ahead and continue to simplify the problem out. Your first question. Find the slope of the line that is perpendicular to the line 3x plus 2y equals 13. So right here we're just trying to find the slope. We're not even going to find the new line. So let's go ahead and look at that. Well, our first step, remember, is we need to actually identify what the original slope is. So in order to do that, we're going to have to solve for y. So we're going to go ahead and put the original in slope-intercept form. So we start off with 3x plus 2y equals 13. So we're going to go ahead and subtract our 3x from both sides, because you want to get your y by itself. So you're left with 2y equals minus 3x plus 13. Remember, we keep it in this form in order to be able to look at our original, the formula for our slope-intercept form, and to be able to pick out our slope really quickly. Our next step, to get y by itself, we need to divide 2 into each and every term. So this simplifies out to y equals -3 over 2x plus our 13 over 2. Now, at this step, your second step is to identify what your original slope is. Well, your original slope, or your slope 1, your m1, is going to be -3 over 2. Now, what kind of slope are we looking for? It says we want to find the slope of the line that is perpendicular to our original slope. Well, since we know our original slope is -3 over 2, our new slope, so number 3 is our new slope, which is perpendicular, you are going to take your original one, flip it, and switch the sign. So your m1, or your slope 1, is perpendicular. It's a perpendicular sign to m2. And so if our m1 we said was -3 over 2, our m2, or our new slope, would have to be +3 over 2. Switch your fraction, or sorry, +2 over 3. Excuse me. You're going to switch your fraction, so it's 2 over 3, and switch your sign. So that means you're going to switch it from a negative to a positive. Now, how can we prove that this is true? Well, one of the rules that we had is if we have m1 times m2, your slope 1 times your slope 2, has to equal -1. Plug it in. So you have -3 over 2 times your 2 over 3. Does that in fact equal -1? Yes, because the 2's cancel out, the 3's cancel out, and so you have -1 equals -1. Since this is true, you know that your m2 is correct, or your new slope is in fact perpendicular to your original slope. So your answer is 2 over 3.
Now in the very last one that we're going to go through, we want to find a line that passes through the point 2, -5 that is parallel to 2x minus y equals -4. So our first step is to solve for y because we want it into slope-intercept form. So if given your 2x minus y equals -4, you're going to subtract your 2x from both sides. And so it simplifies to -y equals -2x minus 4. Now we need to get rid of the negative in front of the y. Remember, if you have a negative in front of the y, this is the exact same thing as saying -1 times y. So to get rid of the -1, you multiply everything by negative. Or in other words, if you see the negative, that means to switch all of your signs. So if you switch all your signs, you get your y equals a positive 2x plus 4. Okay. Now, second step, identify your original slope. Well, your original slope is going to be 2, because remember it's the y equals mx plus b. So your m1 is going to be 2. Your third step is to figure out your new slope. Well, remember, since this says that we're looking for a parallel line, parallel lines means that your original slope is going to equal your new slope. So, which means since your original slope was 2, your new slope also has to equal 2. Okay, and now we just plug it in. So our fourth step is to plug it into our equation. Well, we can solve for our y-intercept any way, we can solve for our slope-intercept form any way we want. I'm going to start with the point-slope form. So you have your y minus y1 equals your m times x minus x1. And when plugging it in, you're using your new point given. So this is using the point to -5. So you have your y minus your y1. Well, your y1 is going to be -5 equals your slope, your m, which is 2, times x minus x1, which is 2. Remember, a negative and a negative make a positive. So we're going to go ahead and rewrite this, and you have your y plus 5 equals your 2 times x minus 2. Distribute your slope, or your 2, into the parentheses. So you have your y plus 5 equals 2x minus 4. 2 times -2 is -4. And now you're going to go ahead and subtract your 5 from both sides, and you get your y equals 2x minus 9. And this is, in fact, the new equation of your line that passes through the point to -5, but that is also parallel to the point, or parallel to the line 2x minus y equals -4. This is the end of your notes for section 1.1. When you're ready, please continue to section 1.2, which is talking about the business applications of your lines. Thank you.